Hey guys, my name is Prokopenko. Welcome to Proko. This is Aaron Westerberg. He's an amazing painter. So a few months ago, I visited Aaron at his studio, and we were there for 3 days, and we recorded him doing a full-on painting as if he was painting for himself. Not a demo where he's teaching us stuff, but just a painting where we're a fly on the wall, and we want to experience how he works when he's painting for a gallery. So a professional piece that he would actually sell. So you can pre-order it now at proko.com/Westerberg. It's really awesome because he goes through his whole process from color studies to actually getting the model into the studio and doing the photo shoot. He shows you how he picks the best photos and then how he preps his canvas. He goes over his color palette, the whole thing. So that's coming out soon. When it's out, you can get it at proko.com/Westerberg. Also, there's gonna be a link in the description. Okay, so Aaron.
Yes.
First of all, let's start by introducing you. Tell us a little bit about your history. When did you start painting?
I was going to a junior college to try to figure out what I wanted to do. And so I was just taking my educational classes so I could transfer once I figured out, hey, I want to be whatever, and then I could go to whatever university I chose, having taken care of my educational
Like your
part.
basic education stuff?
Yeah, just all the stuff you need.
Backup?
Basically like the first 2 years of any degree, you're gonna have to take these courses, you know. So I was going there, and I was also taking art classes at the same time at the junior college. I found a flyer from Jeff Watts, and the drawings were really good. There wasn't any real structure in the life drawing classes that I was taking at the junior college. And it's basically, you know, life drawing 1, life drawing 2, and it's just kind of go at it. Didn't even really discuss tools or, you know, what kind of, you know, mark making implements you could use. It was just kind of free for all. And I went, saw Jeff, sat in one of his classes, and I liked it a lot. I got hooked, and yeah, from there, I stayed with him for almost 2 years. That's how it was.
So then did you actually go up and study with Glenn Orbick, or?
No, okay.
No?
As soon as I moved up there, Glenn had taught for 10 years straight. He stopped teaching.
Right? Yeah.
The semester that I got up there, he stopped teaching. And so the people that were his best students basically started taking over his classes.
So who did you study with?
Ryan Wormser was the guy who took over Glenn's classes.
Okay. Did you study from books? Did you take?
Yeah, most of my stuff was from books. You know.
Did you go online and talk to people in forums? Like what?
At exactly that time period when I went up there, the Richard Schmid book came out. You know, Alla Prima, and that was like the Bible. You know, I don't think there's still, maybe, but.
I don't think so. There's nothing better yet.
Yeah, there's no one that has, you know, John Singer Sargent didn't write a book on painting, and neither did.
Wouldn't that have been great?
Yeah, I would have been set.
God.
But Schmid did, and that was perfect timing. You know, everything that he did was in that book, and I did it. You know, I said, I want to do this. How do I do it? Here's a book.
Before we move on, is there anything else about the Alla Prima book and the way you studied it that is important for people to know?
I don't think so. You know, I
just go through the book, do the exercises.
I did everything in there. I mean, I did the color charts.
Yeah,
you know,
you actually did them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
so after you do those, like you've mixed so much paint, you kind of know what to expect.
Generally. The flaw in that is that you're mixing colors in relationship to the color charts, not in relationship to whatever it is you're like. If there's a figure next to this blue sheet or red fabric or whatever, that's going to look different next to a flesh tone than it would next to another blue. You know, so
yes, okay.
That's the one. You know, it's not a bad thing, but it's just.
But you can generally understand or you know what to expect when you mix red with yellow.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
And the specific like red versus alizarin, and you know, there's a slight difference if you mix that with yellow. What happens there? Like you start feeling the difference.
You're very
by
much
doing the charts.
Yeah, you're very much familiarizing yourself with your palette. You know, you're you know, mixing stuff that you wouldn't normally mix.
Cool. So another question that came up that people are asking is today. We have social media. Do you still sell most of your work through galleries, or do you sell online on your own? Mostly online.
Yeah. Instagram has been great. You know,
so can you give people some advice?
Well, on
selling online or Instagram? I mean, is it only Instagram that you sell with, or do you do Facebook?
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah.
So what do you do? How do you sell paint?
Well, First of all, I would say, there's a lot of different social media types. There's, Pinterest, Facebook, MySpace,
MySpace,
all those. So I say pick one and kind of, stay on that one. And
just experiment with one and then expand once
well,
you figure out.
You can link everything to one anyway.
That's true.
But once you learn one, it's kind of like, okay, whether it be Pinterest or Instagram or Facebook, whatever, learn, just do the one, and you kind of develop a little bit of a following there, and that's kind of your home base.
Okay, so step one, develop a following by posting good work, right?
Yeah, well, it's not just good work. I mean, yes, you want to post, good work, but also, I think you should try to have a personality. Show the audience who you are. I mean, it can be anything, but I have dogs. I like to post, pictures of my dogs, my process.
Your breakfast.
No. I try to keep it mostly art related, And
dogs.
And dogs.
Yeah.
They're so cute. But I paint them though, so
that's true.
It counts.
They're models. It's model reference photos.
Should be able to write them off. I wish.
That's interesting.
Develop your personality on there. Show some of the behind the scenes stuff, your personality, what you do, how you're doing. Kind of show who who people are buying from. But I mean, initially, like the big breakthrough that I had with social media and everything was someone suggested I do like a studio sale, just like the sketches and things, small paintings that you have in your studio that aren't framed and you wouldn't necessarily sell in a gallery. They're not super finished necessarily. Maybe some of them are just ideas you had for other paintings.
I think I remember when you posted that very first one.
Yeah.
I think it was on Facebook though, the first one you
posted.
It
was both. I did, I linked them.
Okay, I think it was even before Instagram was really big though. I think you took a photograph of your whole, like all your little paintings lined up, and you're like, studio sale.
Yeah.
So how did you approach it? Was it really just, you just took a picture and you posted it and you're like,
well,
contact me for prices? Is that it?
Well, okay, this is what I did. I was just like upset about, not selling as much as I wanted in the galleries.
Okay.
And I want them to do more, and they're not doing enough, and
Right.
And so someone suggested.
That was probably during the whole the slump, right?
Well, it was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
But 2008. Are you thinking? It was after that.
Oh, okay.
It was after that.
Okay. So what did you do?
But so anyway, so I took a picture of like, I'm gonna have all these things and I'm gonna do a studio sale. I didn't even tell people to call me or whatever. And then so what happened was people were sending me that picture and they were circling some of the paintings in there, like how much for this one, how much for that one, and I'm like, oh damn. So I was like, hey, I need to get more organized with this. And because I probably got like 4 or 5 people doing that, and I'm like, wow. So what I did is I took pictures of all the individual paintings, and because I don't live close to a highly trafficked area or anything, I'm kind of on the outskirts of LA. So I plan to do most of it online. And I was gonna have an opening, one day sale at my studio, but it's not like a studio that has a bunch of studios around it or anything like that. It's my house, my garage.
Right.
So I took pictures of everything, put it all online, put it on my website, put the prices on there and everything like that. And I probably had, I have so many paintings that I just forgot about in boxes. And so I was just going through everything. And I sold almost 80% of what I had before.
Are you kidding me?
No, before the opening that I planned. I planned to have it in 2 weeks. The opening's gonna be in 2 weeks. I sold 80% of it online.
How many paintings do you think you sold?
Probably like, man, I don't know.
Just give us a number. Come on.
More than 20. But they're all different sizes, and all different stages of.
Yeah, so some are just little
sketches.
Color studies.
Yeah, and so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and when the opening came, I'm like, wow, I'm totally happy. I don't have to worry about, shucking and jiving when the actual open studio actually happens. But it was really empowering being able to sell all the work myself. And, I don't have to wait for a check from the gallery, which
you don't have to share
they're not
profits.
prompt with. I don't have to give them 50%. And the main thing, I think the most important thing is I knew who I was selling to. That was the biggest part of it.
Right, because you get their info, and then when you have new paintings or another sale, you email them.
You can put them on your newsletter,
That's great. I don't have any emails from the people I sold to with my gallery.
Yeah.
I don't know who my collectors are.
They're not required to give you that unless you leave the gallery. If you leave the gallery,
oh really?
Yeah.
They're allowed to? Or they have to give you?
Yeah. Well, they have to.
Well, I gotta contact them and get those names.
Every state's different. Every state's different.
Okay. What about Arizona?
I don't know about Arizona.
Oh, okay.
California, it's that way though.
Oh.
But a lot of times they won't because they're not great people. But
yeah.
So that's galleries come and go like the wind. So it's sometimes it's difficult, and that's why you want to try to. If you do get in a gallery, you want to get in one that's established and's been around for a while. I've had so many bad experiences with galleries.
I'm sure. I've heard so many different stories.
So many. I mean, it's a racket. Sometimes they have these little things that they do that you don't realize they're kind of skimming off the top of your paintings. In certain ways,
What do you mean?
Well, like some galleries will put the frames on your paintings, right? And then charge you more for the frames than they actually buy them for.
Yeah. They buy in bulk, or they got to deal with the framer.
Yeah, there's all kinds of slippery things that they'll rent out your paintings to decorate someone's home for like a.
Oh, and whatever. They don't tell you?
And they don't tell you, right? That I saw that happen.
Horrible.
I saw one of my friends' paintings on. Desperate Housewives of Orange County, or not Desperate Housewives, Real Housewives of Orange County. They may be desperate, but yeah. So they do all kinds of things like that. So you really gotta keep abreast and like the people that are showing your work.
Yeah.
If you don't have a good relationship with them, that's your inventory, that's your stock. You really have to work with it. You can't just stick your painting in a gallery and forget about it.
Do you use eBay at all? Or
No,
just social?
Never used eBay.
Just social.
For when people pay me, I just use PayPal.
Yeah.
PayPal or Venmo or.
So do you ever post like one painting and say, hey, this is for sale, this is the price, or do you do studio sales?
Both.
Both?
Yeah, I do both. Yeah,
Okay.
I do all that.
Cool.
Sometimes I'll have different themes. Like I just had a sale where it was, I sold a bunch of paintings that were just my little color studies for bigger paintings.
Right.
And just whatever. I found a box, had a whole bunch of them. So I'm like, well, maybe I could sell these.
Right.
And I did.
Cool. Okay, so I want to get into some of the more like technical painting stuff.
Okay. I'm ready.
So some people asked about what part of the painting process you think is the hardest, or the one that you focus the most on. So maybe you could start with just talking about the process, your whole process in general, like the steps you take of completing a painting, and then answer that question. Which part is?
Okay. Well, I think the most important part of the painting is the composition. How the whole thing looks together. And then I guess the painting process is kind of organizing everything to make sure that whole isn't broken up. The shapes and colors, putting all that together.
So is that what you solve in the color comp, or do you do a little sketch before the color comp? Like thumbnails?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes what I do is I'll have ideas. Like sometimes, like if I see a person doing something, I'll sketch that, or even try to take a photo of it with my phone and then show that to a model and try to.
Oh, okay. And then you you hire a model, try to replicate that idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a good point. When I do my color studies, the little sketches I do prior to the painting, there's no detail involved. I try not to put any. My rules are no features, no fingers, no toes, big simple shapes, accurately proportioned, but no detail. When I do the color studies, it shows me what's important, what's working, what's not working, and I can adjust in a very simple way. So when I do the big painting, I'm not bogged down, because sometimes, I've spent, it's kind of embarrassing, but days on, areas that are that big on a big painting, because I didn't solve it first, in the color study. So almost 99% of the time, I do color studies now before I do a painting.
So you're trying to solve the big idea with detail, and so it takes a much longer time.
Exactly.
If you're trying to paint a nose, and then you realize, I needed to make it much lighter than that, but you have so many details already. You could have figured that out with one stroke in a small study, and then you value, the color, the shape, or not the shape, but...
Yeah, all of that. It's serious. Like a light shape can totally distract or unbalance a whole composition, teeny light shape, but those color studies save so much time. It's ridiculous.
And I think one really important thing about your color studies is you do those from life, because you could see, when you hire your model, you'll do your photo shoot, and then you'll paint the color study from the model when she's still there, instead of from the photo, which you lose so much of the color already.
Yeah. I don't 100% do that because sometimes.
But ideally, ideally you'll do it from life.
So much is lost in a photograph. I mean, photographs, they do a lot of bad things. They make the edges harder. They push the contrast more, and you lose a lot of the color.
Well, yeah, a lot of colors in the shadows just become gray or black.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at it from life, you see so much more color in there.
Right.
So you can capture that with a study and then transfer it into the big painting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I know a lot of people were asking about how do you get your colors? Do you work from photos or from life? And so that's a really important distinction.
I mean, I wish I could work from life the whole time.
Right.
But one, it's expensive, and two, sometimes I like to do poses that aren't, the model can't hold for that long a time. So.
And you spend about an hour on the color study?
Yeah, I try to do them pretty fast. An hour is, that's a long time, but no more than an hour, and
Yeah.
But seriously, I mean, it'll save so much time with the longer painting, the bigger painting that it's really valuable to me. And I also, when you're doing those color studies, a lot of times you don't think that things will work that you're trying, and they work. And so, wow, that works on a small scale. I'm going to try it big. I would have never tried that, big right away. But when I try it small, I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. It looks good. I'm gonna try it on the big one.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot that way too, just kind of experimenting. I love doing little studies. You can use like one brush. It's way faster. Yeah, I really.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can experiment more with a little thing than if you're working on a giant painting.
Yeah, and sometimes I do. I'll do like a whole panel of different variations of the same pose, and.
Cool. And what do you experiment with? The composition, the color, the pose?
All that.
Everything.
Sometimes I just did this one that was just black and white, but I changed the values just a little bit here and there.
Okay.
So
the value composition.
Yeah, just a breakup of, the shapes were all the same, but I changed the values. I'm like, what would this look like here or here? Maybe trying to add a little bit more atmosphere, between the figure and the background. Little things like that
Cool.
you can, try really easily. Some people do that digitally too. I've seen people do it digitally, and it's the same thing.
Doesn't matter.
No.
It's just a different medium.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. You're experimenting on a small scale to see what'll work, and that's what you want. You want your finished paintings to look good from far away, right? So big simple shapes, and from close up.
So where do you get your models? Are they friends? Do you go on? Is there a website? I mean, you see people on the street.
Yeah, I tried,
Have you tried going up to people?
There was this one girl at Whole Foods that worked in the pizza department,
Okay.
And, I was with my wife, I tried to get her to model, but it turned out bad.
You should have gotten your wife to go up to her.
We did.
Oh, your wife went and asked?
She went with me and asked. And I'm gonna.
Because it's like if you're going up to a girl, it's like.
No, it's bad. It doesn't work. It just doesn't come.
They think you're hitting on them.
No, there's no way to do it good. You can give them your business card.
Okay, but so your wife went with you and it still didn't work?
No.
What happened?
It was uncomfortable. Well, she never called.
Oh, okay.
I gave her my card and she seemed like she would be good, but so I never went back and got pizza at that place anymore. But anyway, so I just sometimes I'll have a friend, but I've painted my friend Chris, painted him a bunch, but sometimes.
Is he the guy that looks like you?
Yeah, people think it's
so
me.
it looks like self-portraits?
Yeah, I mean. You look at yourself more than anyone else. You look at yourself in the mirror every day, and so you kind of paint a little bit of yourself in every portrait anyway. So he kind of looks like me anyway. So
I really thought that those were all self-portraits until you told me it's your friend Chris. I was like, what?
It's embarrassing. My mom thought it was me. My mom thought it was me. So it's not me. I mean, so I do a lot of self-portraits also, but there's a few I've done that are Chris. But anyway, sometimes I'll find a model. Like, it's really difficult to just look at pictures online of a model. Well,
they're not your photos.
They're not your photos, but also if you I've hired some of those before, and they get to your house and they don't look anything like the photos that you saw. You're like, well, wait a minute. And so a lot of times I like to.
It's like a dating site.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's you, but. I'm telling you, there's drastic differences sometimes. You can't tell the proportions a lot of times either, So a lot of times it's someone that I've worked with before, either like a life drawing group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so you go to a life drawing group and you see a model.
Yeah.
And you already know that they work they model. So
yeah, and I can tell they're not crazy or something like that. You know, someone that you're comfortable with them being in your house. You know,
Right.
so all kinds of factors go into it.
That's true.
But I have to be comfortable with whoever it is that I'm painting. You know,
Right.
because you know, it's just me. I'm sensitive, but
Okay.
I'm a sensitive flower. But yeah, so I want them to be comfortable, you know,
Yeah.
because I want them to,
It comes through in the painting.
yeah, and I want them to, you know, take direction well, and I don't want to seem bossy and everything like that. But if they're not comfortable, I'm not gonna get any good photos from them. I'm not gonna paint well from them. I'm gonna be uncomfortable, you know. So it's very important to develop a good repertoire with whoever you work with, no matter what it is, I think.
One person asked, what is the story behind your painting Intent? I don't know which one they're talking about.
I know which one that is, yeah.
What is it? Describe the painting.
Okay, so that one is of, it's of a model that I've used a lot, Amy, and she's wearing a pink, like a coat, and she's carrying an axe. Right? Okay. And so
what's the story?
Okay, there's actually a story behind that one.
Okay.
And it's a metaphor, you know, but I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but I'll tell you because it's personal. But it's about harboring bad feelings, you know.
Did you murder somebody?
I didn't murder anybody. Not that bad. But like holding grudges or feeling, you know, you carry that inside, you know, with you, and it's bad. You know, it's bad.
It's like a heavy axe that you're carrying with you.
Yeah, it's a burden. Well, it's dangerous. It leads to, you know, bad things. It hurts you and it hurts other people.
So deep.
Yeah, it is deep.
That's great.
But
so do you try to put that kind of stuff into all of your paintings?
So sometimes I'll have an idea and I don't know what the painting means, maybe for a year or two afterwards, you know. Okay. And that was that one for sure. You know, I wanted to do this painting for a while. I had my idea in my head for a while, but I didn't do it. You know, Amy was the right model, and she kind of had her hair a certain way one day, and it just worked, you know. And but I didn't know what it meant for a while until I kind of got back from it, you know, away from painting it, and it was about a year, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that painting's about, you know.
So you had the visual. And it was powerful to you, but you didn't really know why you had that visual?
Right.
Interesting.
You know, emotions cloud. You know, you can't see clearly a lot of times, and especially like anger and resentment and things like that. So it wasn't clear. You know, it wasn't clear at all. But after I got
when you
back
figured out what it meant, did it help you finish the painting?
No, the painting was done.
Oh, it was already done?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Done for a year, more than a year. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a weird deal. But with a lot of my paintings, that's the way they are. I don't really know. I'm like in the moment. I'm in the, you know, in the spectrum. And then later on, I can kind of clearly see, oh, I was doing this and that came out of it, you know. That's with me, though. A lot of people do it differently.
Right.
But for me, a lot of my paintings aren't obvious at the time, but I got to get them out. You know, I got to paint them. I want to really do this, and so that's what it was with that one. You know.
Cool. Do you ever feel like you're repeating yourself? Because I know you use a lot of the same costume, the same model. Do you feel like you're repeating yourself, or are you saying something new in each one of them?
Well, I try to say something new each time. It's difficult for, you know, like a fine artist to just do one painting of this particular subject matter. Because a lot of times I want to kind of dive into it a little bit more, but also only one person has that painting, you know? So, you know, I like to kind of give variations on that theme, you know, and not just do it once. And I think sometimes after I've done it once or twice, then I can really do it well, you know? So sometimes it builds to a really better painting, you know, a better idea, and maybe a little bit more thought out in every aspect, you know, composition, edges, color, everything. So
you're practicing to get better at that theme.
Kinda.
So each one of those is like a study for the final. When do you burn out on one theme, and you have to move on to another one, or do you?
I don't know. I don't know if I've burned out on one theme. Sometimes I do. I mean, lately, I've really been into color. That's been my thing.
Right. Well, that's not really a theme, though, right? I mean, that's just the general principle.
No, it's a theme in terms of.
I'm talking about like, you have the one you did like for our demo is the red jacket, and it was what was the model's name? Reevy. And you've done paintings very similar to that with the same jacket, same model. Are you going to do more of that?
Maybe. I really like the color red, Okay. I really like the shape, that hourglass shape of the jacket. Right. And I just love painting it. I don't know. But it's like, with music, you play the same song a lot, I don't know. I'll paint it 10 more times. I don't know. I really like it. But
interesting.
I figure, as a painter, you don't have too many harsh conditions. We're not like trying to dig ditches or build something. So, I'm going to last a long time, hopefully. I'm going to paint a lot of paintings. And so I'm not in a hurry to jump around to completely different themes. But what I was referring to with color, though, is just using color more as an emotional aspect of the paintings. So I could do this exact same painting, but portray a totally different idea with it.
Okay, so the subject is the same, but the painting is completely different.
Yeah, the idea is totally different.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
But if I painted her more, like skin tones more red and things like that, then that'd have a different connotation. Everything would be a little bit more red. It'd be a little bit more of a moody type saturated idea. I mean, there's a lot of painters who paint the same thing every single painting, and it's hard to tell the difference between their paintings. And I still like them.
Right.
I mean, all my favorite guys do that too. I mean,
like who?
Schmid, Richard Schmid. Paints those like vignette flowers.
Yeah, that's true.
Those like barns that he paints, with the big green foreground. Painted a ton of those. Oh, can I tell a quick story real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as inspiration, one of the biggest inspirations is going to see live paintings. And my friend Stan and I would actually go, would actually go to Arizona, drive from California to Arizona to go to Settlers West Gallery, which would show Schmid paintings. They would have maybe one or two Schmid paintings they had a miniature show every year, and usually they'd have one or two of his paintings there. And seeing those in person, it's a 6-hour drive one way. So we'd drive there and back in one day and go see the show. And we do it, a lot. And one time we went there, they had, I don't know if they were shooting the paintings for the Schmid book or what, but they had a lot of the paintings that are in the Schmid book there in person. And so I got to see in person all those figurative paintings and everything. And that was it. Once I saw that, I was like, this is what I want to do for a living. I want to do that right there. And that propelled me, for years, and I still think about those paintings in person. The gallery was so nice to us. They showed us the paintings in the gallery, and then let's go outside and look at them. And they brought them outside, and we got to see them in the sun. Yeah, and they were gorgeous. They were so gorgeous in the sunlight. But they were art lovers, and so they really wanted to show us how beautiful the paintings were, and really thankful for that gallery. But it was worth it. I drove to Las Vegas once to see one Schmid painting that was supposed to be at this auction. Yeah, they didn't have it. They advertised it in a magazine and everything, right? And I drove there to the auction, didn't have it. I said, where's the Schmid painting? They're like, oh yeah, we didn't get it. I said, why'd you advertise it? Yeah, we didn't get it. And so I said, okay, I guess I'm gonna go drive 4 hours back home, thanks. But in a lot of those shows, there's other paintings too. We saw Nancy Guzik, Laura Robb, John Encinas was a good painter, Dan Gearhartz. A lot of great painters, were in those shows. I'm gonna, I have a show tentatively planned summer 2018.
2018, cool.
In Los Angeles. Okay. Los Angeles. So you'll see more about that soon. So that's why I haven't been on my social media. I haven't been showing really too much new work because I'm keeping it all.
You're gonna announce them for the show.
Yeah, as they come. I want to kind of keep it fresh, keep all those paintings fresh. But that's kind of what's in the crosshairs.
Have you been sharing the comps, the color comps for those?
I've been sharing pieces of them, a little bit. I took some close-up shots of them and things like that, but
you don't want to give away too much.
I don't want to give away too much. Yeah.
Okay. So what can people expect from you 5-10 years from now? Where do you want to take your work?
Well, I don't know.
It's wherever your heart tells you to go.
Yeah, I mean, I just I want to be able to afford paint and you know, I just want to paint for the rest of my life. You know,
Right.
It's like if I do a huge complex figure painting or a small little, you know, vignette, I don't care. I just want to be able to paint. That's the most important thing to me. You know, having a place to paint and being able to afford brushes and paint and things like that.
Right.
That's it. You know, I don't need too much more. You know, I want to be successful as I can be. I want to, you know, sell my paintings for a lot of money. But at the end, it's just I want to be able to paint. You know, that's to me, it's the most important.
Awesome. So if people want to see your paintings, where should they go? Where should they follow you?
Well, go to my website. You know,
What's the website?
It's aaronwesterberg.com.
Cool.
And my galleries are on there. I have a few galleries. And
if they want to see them in person, they can go again.
Yeah, I have galleries in Denver, Florida, North Carolina.
But for all the list of your current galleries, just go to your website.
Yeah, it's all on there. And social media too.
Which show you're most active?
Instagram. For
Instagram?
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
And it's just Aaron Westerberg?
Yeah, it's Westerberg.
Well, just Westerberg?
Yeah, just type Westerberg and I'll come up. And I'm always doing little stories on there that, you know, are gone the next day or sometimes not even that long. Sometimes I make them disappear real quick. But
you just delete them?
Yeah, I just delete them a lot of times.
Before a day? Why would you?
Yeah.
Why even less than a day?
I don't know. Is
it you don't like them or?
No, I don't know. Maybe I want people to watch them real soon. Just be on me. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not sure.
Is it a marketing strategy or what?
No, I mean sometimes maybe it's just a little bit too behind the scenes, you know.
Do you regret posting it? You're like, I took that down.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much. That was very educational.
Thank you,
people
Stan.
will appreciate that. If you guys want to watch his full process of painting from color study to a complete figure painting that he would put into a gallery, it's proko.com/Westerberg. So anyway, thank you, Aaron. Thank you guys for joining us. See you next time.
I really like being able to create something, give birth to something that's my own. You can tell a lot about a person by looking at a painting that the person did. Every single painting that you do or I do is a self-portrait. And you can tell exactly who that person was and how they were thinking when they were painting it. A lot of personality goes into a painting. It's something that's going to exist beyond me, and also I kind of have that lineage of the painters who came before me. A human being is very complex. You know, color is very complex. The more you understand it, the more freedom you have in painting. If you're kind of new to color and you're not really comfortable painting with a lot of color, I would say paint with a lot of color. Set up a still life or a model or a figure or whatever and put a lot of color in there. The more you try to paint things with more color, the easier it is to understand color. You'd be surprised at how much you learn and how much you grow.